Welcome back to Stimmy Films, everybody. Make sure you like this video, comment down below. Let me know if you a fan of the Migos, and let me know if you rocking with Takeoff. We just got some major updates about how they have lowered the bond for the dude that just got locked up for doing the whole entire thing to Takeoff allegedly. Now they had him in there, and they at first wasn't giving him no leeway, no type of cut, no type of break, no type of bond. But now after him and his PI been putting together a whole lot of work together. They've been using that little five bands that they got to ask everybody in MobTies what really went on and what really happened to Takeoff that night. Now, Quavo, Offset had his own concert where he opened up, did an entire tribute to Takeoff. Now, you remember flashback to the whole ceremony they were doing. Man, Offset was crying. He was in disbelief. He couldn't handle it. But you seen Quavo barely shed a tear. You seen Quavo there. He wasn't showing the same level as emotion as Offset. Offset knows that they should have never split up. Now, fast forward, he does his whole tribute to the concert for Takeoff because he knows that's his cousin, that's his brother, that's somebody that they made millions and millions of dollars with. And, he's trying to show support. He's trying to hold it down and put on for Takeoff as he continues his own career. And then you got to understand that this whole entire thing is heating up right now. All of Houston, they're trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen with Mob Ties, what's going to happen with Migos. Because you got to understand, Migo Band's manager, the manager, Migo Bands, he might be putting together a statement. Did he give the full details explaining exactly who, what, when, where, and why did they do this to Takeoff? Exactly pointing, was it Lil Cam or was it DJ Pat that made that final move that made Takeoff drop? Now you got to understand, he's going to have to explain his side of the story and how they even know Mob Ties and what exactly they were doing hanging out with them. Because it's not like they were just seen with them at that bowling alley at that birthday party. But no, they were seen with them hanging around, driving through Fifth Ward, going to all sorts of places, having to check in. They're going to really bring up the fact, did you guys have to check in? Did they make you pay for security? Did you guys have a dice game? Because if they happen to say and figure out all of those questions, they're going to have a lot of dirt on them. It's going to have a lot of questions that they're going to have to answer to. Now, they're looking at Mob Ties and they're trying to get all the guys that is cooperating around Mob Ties to give the details up themselves. Because Cam is cooperating. Pat cooperated. These guys, they're going to tell because when they're sitting in that hot seat and they looking at hundreds of years, millions in charges and fines and not being able to get out and see the daylight, they're going to have to squeal and give up whoever because whatever they got paid or whatever the incentive was for them to do this, whether it was to get the chain or have a beef to get settled or they were taking orders from people they answer to and work for because of the group that they hang out with, because of where they live, the specific area, and just them being wanted to be accepted in the Mob Ties group, they had to do what they said to, and told them to do. So was it all because of that, or was it existing online beef on Twitter that Quavo had with one of the guys? Was it because of the dice game argument? Was that just a distraction? Or was it all over money? Was it all over a girl? Because the last time you seen Migos split up, it was all over a girl between Offset and Quavo. And now Offset and Quavo regret splitting up because it could have meant keeping Takeoff around with us because of the fact that they probably wouldn't have been at that birthday party had the whole group been together. They would have been booked for a show in Sweden or somewhere else, man. And it's like they can't go back and change none of the time. They can't redo it or anything. But all they know is Offset regrets them splitting up because he was like, man, I knew it was going down the wrong path. But eventually, it's the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong crowd, man. because it's not the first time that something's gone wrong when MobTies have been the ones that threw the scene, threw the party, and had everybody at their spot, had everybody having to follow their security rules. But guess what? You seen what happened to Duke the Jeweler, and now you seen what happened with Takeoff. Now, allegedly, a lot of people are talking about whether there even is a connection or not. But the streets of Houston, they are definitely talking. The people in Mob Ties are talking, which is Cam and Pat. And they're basically, you know, putting two and two together to point it down and narrow it down to whether it was a couple of people, whoever was riding in the car, whoever dropped off Cam and Pat, and whoever the mystery person is that had on the black hoodie, the person who's arguing, any of those guys, they're going to be wondering, you know, their part and what they played in the situation, where they were standing and what exactly they did. And if they rode away and got away with some of the guys that they're still looking for. Because the association, just by being associated with them, just by showing up with them, just by hanging out, partying, and being around there on that scene when everything went down, just because they were there, they're going to get talked to, they're going to get looked at. And, you know, at first, they have to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them explain their side of the story. But if they get one of the other people to end up saying this guy did this and anything is inconsistent, they're definitely going to jump on that and try to figure out why things are being held out. Not everybody wanted to speak out. It's 40 people who saw exactly what happened, yet you only got 2 or 3 of the girls that try to speak out just so they could come up on probably some of the bread that they were rewarding people with for any information. But you know good and well that all 40 of them people who make their basically, you know, wake up and they're in the entourage every day with Mob Ties. They go to all the parties, all the clubs, all the after shows. They backstage. They right there. They're literally with Jazz and Junior, the Prince family, all the time. They hang, allegedly is what they saying, that Houston is saying, that they all hang out together as one big group. So you know they know who Pat is. DJ Pat and Lil Cam, they know exactly who they are, but you see it took them all this time. Nobody wanted to say nothing because they all kind of scared and they all kind of, you know, got straightened out by the Mob Ties, and that they didn't want to have any of their, you know, bridges be burned or cut off the relationship because they might be trying to, you know, stay relevant with them. They want to stay in the limelight, be able to go to all the places and be able to access what they do and be around celebrities and whatnot. So a lot of people, they didn't want to speak out. But at the end of the day, they get justice for Takeoff.